Good afternoon, everybody. Whether it's in the morning or the afternoon or in the night, thank you for joining us here. This is In the Lab with Dylan Elliott, episode number 7. So, today we got a very special presentation for everybody. This presentation today will be called Odd Instruments and Musical Accidents. So this will be a PowerPoint presentation that I have cooked up for everybody. I think we will all enjoy this. So the plan for today will be to go through this presentation, and then afterwards we'll make one beat in Ableton, and that should be it for today. So again, thank you to everybody tuning in. I really appreciate every single one of you. We'll just test out the audio. Oh yeah. Audio is sounding good. So yeah, thank you for stopping in. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody is doing great. We got a very special presentation, and so I'm going to go ahead and set up OBS, and we'll get right into it. Here we go. Boom. Let me save this as a name. Oh, boom. So here we go. So this is Odd Instruments and Musical Accidents, a presentation, very special, episode 7, so I thought I would cook up this PowerPoint. What better way to communicate this information than a PowerPoint? So yeah, we'll just kind of keep my icon kind of like up here. I don't think it'll interact with the presentation, so let's just hop right into it. Odd instruments and musical accidents. So the purpose of this presentation is to show that sometimes good ideas can be found on accident, to inspire others to conceptualize and create new instruments and techniques. Enjoy the design and utility of each odd instrument. Lastly, to broaden the mental framework of what an instrument can be. So this is basically just having fun with what is an instrument. So this first section, these will be odd instruments. These may be instruments you haven't heard of, but maybe some of them you have heard of them. And I made these 2 pictures with AI. So yeah, that's why they're there. Here we go. So number 1, we got the laser harp. So this instrument creates sounds when laser beams are interrupted. French composer Bernard Saugner, applied to patent the laser harp in 1981. It was granted in 1982, meaning that the French Patent Office had found no evidence of another inventor of the same or similar instrument before him. However, Australian inventor Geoffrey Rose claims to have taken out a provisional patent with the UK Patent Office in 1975 to 1976, and his invention may have been shown and used as early as 1976. So there's a little bit of contention of who invented the laser harp. Also, I have a picture of Beams by Flow right here. This was actually, it wasn't really a laser harp, but if you blocked the lasers, it would allow you to DJ your music. So that is the Beams by Flow. And we'll just go ahead and take a look at this Jean-Michel Jarre, the Time Machine. So he's playing the laser harp. So we will, hopefully we don't get any ads. I don't know about copyright, but yeah, you can see he's blocking it with his hands. It's pretty cool. So yeah, don't want to go too crazy with the copyright. I don't really know how all that works. But that's the laser harp. That's number 1. Number 2, we got broken glass and contact mics. This is another type of instrument. Justice Yeldham, which is the stage name, is most famous for creating an instrument made from a diamond-shaped pane of glass fitted with contact microphones and attached to effects pedals. During live shows, he manipulates and breaks the glass with his mouth, often receiving cuts in the process and leaving his face and instrument smeared in blood, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, you can see there's the contact microphone, and he just kind of vibrates the glass. So he actually did a session with Death Grips, so we'll go ahead and this will show you what the instrument sounds like. It is kind of crazy. So this is the same guy. This is the same guy, Lucas Abela, which his stage name was shown in the slide. I'll try to turn that down. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah, go check out his videos. He does a bunch of different sessions, and it's harsh noise. Yeah, I'll try to move out of the way of this microphone shadow. Yeah, shout out to this guy. He's going in. Justice Yeldham, aka Lucas Abela. Very cool stuff. It's that noise music. So yeah, this is an instrument. Number 3, we got the Aztec death whistle. This type of whistle was used by the Mexica people and gained popularity after an original was found during a 1990 excavation of an Aztec temple in Mexico City. Hey, shout out Dex, we in the lab, let's go. Thank you for tuning in. It's very special. Large versions of sound, the larger versions sound like a shrieking banshee, and the smaller versions sound similar to atmospheric noise generated by the wind. And pretty sure all of these pictures are of ones on Amazon, so I guess this is kind of a craze right now. I didn't add a video for this because I don't know about the veracity of some of these videos or how accurate the instrument is, but definitely go on YouTube and just type Aztec death whistle and you'll hear somebody playing it, and it does sound crazy. But if it's just like small like this, then it'd probably just be more of a whistling sound. So yeah, number 4, we got singing Tesla coils. Singing Tesla coils. This is what the lab is all about. This instrument produces musical tones through electrical discharges, also called the sousaphone or musical lightning. The term singing Tesla coil was coined by David Nunez, the coordinator of the Austin, Texas chapter of Dorkbot, while describing a musical Tesla coil presentation by Joe DePrima and Oliver Greaves during Dorkbot's 2007 South by Southwest event. So Joe DePrima also went on to make a band called Arc Attack. So this is a picture of Arc Attack. And this one is going to surprise you. This one sounds crazy. Somebody made this Tesla coil do Bohemian Rhapsody.
Once everything's perfectly organized, I'll start working on my thesis.
Whoops. Yeah, normally the browser that I use, it has ad block, but just pop in these links. Yeah, wow. That's crazy. Here we go. Epic. That's all I can say about this is epic. Like, this is what it's all about. And apparently, basically, they can modulate the frequency of the discharge to make the different notes. So it's kind of funny. Oh yeah, let's see if we can. So yeah, there are way more of these Tesla coil videos. Yeah, the Tesla coil, it has some attitude. I can't believe it. Definitely look up more Tesla coil videos because they are pretty insane. They're definitely insane. Also, the name Zeusophone, that's a classic. So yeah, shout out to these. It almost looks like they're robots and they're battling each other, but yeah, it's all art. It's just beautiful. So here we go. Next up, we got the pyrophone. This instrument, known as the flame organ, is able to create sounds by using fire or explosions. The combustion and rapid heating allow the cylindrical glass tubes to play notes. Apparently, this was invented by Georges Frederick Eugene Kastner around 1870. So yeah, you can see right here, this is we got Frederick right here. Yeah, it almost looks like a pipe organ, but with these clear glass tubes. And of course, we got a video for the pyrophone. So this was a pyrophone, a DIY pyrophone, made by this user right here. So shout out to this user. This is their video. And it's an epic DIY pyrophone. But it sounds very odd. Yeah, this one definitely seems pretty dangerous. Like, what is this? It's like a computer hooked up and like there's somebody's car and like the neighbors can see the pyrophone. This is a very interesting instrument. But yeah, if you accidentally knocked it over, oh man, I don't know if it would do anything, but you definitely break the glass. Yeah, I can't even tell what song this is. But I picked it because it was pretty funny. Shout out to this user in the DIY pyrophone. That's some real next level instrumentation. So we also got Les Paul. This instrument was called the log. So it's an early version of the electric guitar. While early electrified instruments were being made around the 1920s, Les Paul innovated in the 1940s with an early guitar prototype known as the log. And in the video that I'll show, Les Paul, he first used a cinder block and a broomstick and a telephone as the microphone, and I believe it was like the phonograph needle as a pickup. And so then this was kind of like the second version right here called the log. So you got that 4x4 block of Douglas fir. You got the homemade pickups, other guitar parts, and basically it all like kind of comes apart right there. So basically he made this one in the 40s. He made the guitar, and then he wanted to bring it to Gibson, and at first they weren't interested in the 40s. And then in 1951 they were interested because some other companies, especially Fender, they started selling electric guitars. So you had the Esquire and the Broadcaster is what it was called, later called the Telecaster. And I also dropped this picture here because this is also Les Paul basically made these early reverberation chambers at Capitol Records in Los Angeles. So some of them were even used with a parking deck. So you would just set up a speaker in here and a microphone, and you would get that old-timey reverb sound. And we'll take a look at Les Paul. Shout out to all these people. But yeah, we got this part right here where it's like, yeah.
I held the broom, and the end of the broom, I taped the telephone on, and I sang into the mouthpiece, played my harmonica, you could hear that, but you couldn't hear my guitar.
And of course,
So yeah, shout out.
It's simple. If it plays a phonograph record, it must play the guitar, right? They both vibrate. It didn't last long because of the feedback and all that, but it proved the point. So I said, well, there's only one way to do this, and that's to take a piece of railroad track. And that's so dense and free of any vibrations that I don't want, that I would get this sustain and this clear sound, honest to God sound. So I put the string on it, took the part that you listen to on the telephone, put it under the strings, and lo and behold, I played through my mother's radio, and I got the most beautiful
Used the
sound
radio as a
that you could
speaker.
ever imagine.
So yeah, he also used the radio as a speaker. So I always think that story is kind of interesting. Yeah, so they have
On my Sundays,
version
I
of
would
it
go
right
over
there.
the strings. The most
Realize it when you put your finger on the first string that the length of the string.
So yeah, big shout out to Les Paul. So he didn't really like invent the guitar, because the guitar has been around. The version that we know is kind of based on the medieval guitar or the Renaissance guitar. But he definitely did innovate with the log. Shout out to the log. Number 7, we got the stylophone. The stylophone is a miniature analog electronic keyboard musical instrument played with a stylus, invented in 1967 by Brian Jarvis. It entered production in 1968, manufactured by Dubrec. So I looked this up online, and yeah, these stylophones are still in production. They have a newer version for about $35. And I was looking at it, I was like, man, is this a precursor of the Volca keys? You know, it has that handheld shape all the way back in the 60s. And the Volca series, I think they were made in like 2013s. So we'll listen to the stylophone. I know you're dying to hear what it sounds like.
When you download the Kroger app, enjoy over 500
style. So if you listen to this instrument, it'll give you 10 plus style, 10 plus science, 10 plus electricity. And shout out to this user right here for this video. This video is actually pretty crazy. So that's the sound right there. Whoa. We'll just skip around so I don't get sued. Hey. Yo, what? That's crazy. Classic right there. Yo, we got mad style with the stylophone. Oh. Kind of sounds like an NES synthesizer. Whoa! Stylophone. I think MGMT used it. That's interesting. Big because on the Stylophone website, they're trying to say a bunch of people have used it, like White Stripes, David Bowie. They had some people on their website, but it wouldn't surprise me because if it's only like $35 or maybe around that ballpark, it's kind of a easy and accessible little tool. So shout out to the Stylophone. It almost looks like a little amp cabinet right there. It's kind of funny. So those are all of the odd instruments for today. You know, you can honestly do so many of these. You could go all day. But we're going to make our way to musical accidents, also known as discovering a new technique or music process on accident. So what I'll say about this is, you know, sometimes you have the musical accident or the eureka moment, and other times you're hard at work and you were already in that lane and you just found more features. So I feel like that's what most of these stories are, but I feel like they're interesting stories. So let's check it out. Number 1, we got the fuzz tone. In the late 1950s, guitarist Link Wray began intentionally overdriving his vacuum tube amplifiers to create a noisy and dirty sound for his solos after an accidental discovery. Wray also poked holes in his speaker cones with pencils to further distort the tone, as well as manipulating the feedback on his guitar and some other effects. The resultant sound can be heard on his influential 1958 instrumental Rumble and Rawhide. So I found a YouTube version of Rumble, and we're going to check it out in a second. Here's the record sleeve or the cover. But I found this when I was looking this up. Rumble was banned in several U.S. radio markets because the term rumble was a slang term for a gang fight, and it was feared that the piece's harsh sound glorified juvenile delinquency. This record is the only instrumental single ever banned from the radio in the United States. So this is a very rare track to be banned, and it's just an instrumental. So thing is, all of you maybe have heard this one. It's kind of...
Hi everyone, Mark Barden here.
It's kind of something that you may have heard. Next time we'll get that ad blocker. Whoops, my bad. I clicked on the wrong video. Okay. Shout out to Link. So yeah, just the thing that this instrumental track got banned on the radio. It did. For the name. Not this one. This isn't called Slinky, but this one's called Rumble, just due to the name. Yeah. This song got banned, but you can tell when you listen to the guitar, it has that distorted preamp sound, giving it, some early fuzz. Yeah, and so some of you probably know this is a sample from another song. Probably heard it sampled in a different song, but go listen to Link Wray Rumble. Link Wray and the Raymen. So yeah, that's a whole crazy vibe. That song was banned on the radio. So there it is right there. We also got the fuzz tone. So in 1961, while recording the Marty Robbins song Don't Worry, a fuzzy tone accidentally caused by a faulty preamplifier in the Quonset Hut Studios mixing console distorted session musician Grady Martin's guitar part. Later that year, Martin recorded an instrumental tune under his own name using the same faulty preamp. The song, released on the Decca label, was called The Fuzz, and Martin is generally credited to as the discoverer of the fuzz effect. So you can see this is another sort of by accident. Sometimes we'd be like, oh, the preamp is all messed up. But it's like he used it, heard it, and then came back and used it in another session. So let's listen to the Fuzz, early version of the Fuzz guitar. It's gonna be crazy. You can really hear that fuzz sound. So the fuzz is like so strong on here that like it takes away all the low end from the guitar. It's all like this like buzzing, all in the high range. Yeah, so that's the Fuzz, and it is a very fuzzy track. And if you really think about it, something about the preamp as it messes up. Basically, back then I guess they used the analog preamps, so it was clipping and distorting the signal, but with specific harmonics. And at the time, I guess they thought that sounded really cool, really neat. But yeah, shout out to the Fuzz. Number 2, we got the phonograph. In an 1898 interview, Thomas Edison said, "I never did anything worth doing by accident, nor did any of my inventions come indirectly through accident, except the phonograph." And that's from an article I saw on the Tennessean. 1878, Edison and his team were working on a machine to record the clicks of a telegraph onto paper. During this session, he proposed the idea to record the human voice. Luckily, the year before, Alexander Graham Bell had shown off his prototype of the telephone. So this is the telegraph, this is the telephone, and then this is the phonograph by Edison. So you can see Edison proposed attaching a needle to the back of a diaphragm in a telephone mouthpiece and inscribing the vibrations created by talking onto a moving strip of paper. Edison and his team shifted their efforts and within an hour had a device. So that's from the same article. So apparently they, worked and tried recording on it all night. So one point from this is Edison, basically, this wasn't the intended effect that he was looking for. He was more trying to transcribe the telegraph. But then when he came up with the phonograph, he wanted to gear it towards the human voice. And oddly enough, the phonograph was really bad at recording and displaying the human voice, but is better at music. So we have, to test the device, Edison recorded "Mary Had a Little Lamb," just speaking those words into the phonograph. And so to keep this in mind, this is 1878. So basically for about 10 years, 9 or 10 years, there wasn't that much innovation. So basically, other people could, create their own inventions. Edison did get the patent for that phonograph. And so in 1877, Emil Berliner, a German immigrant living in Washington, D.C., invented a disc recording system called the gramophone in 1887. Around this time is when the phonograph picked up in popularity. because Edison could use this as a way to, you have the records that can be played on the phonograph, and yeah, that's basically, you'll just have that music coming in. But Edison released a new phonograph which recorded and played music very well. The diction, the words, the speaking, however, was not very clear at the time. So when he recorded Mary Had a Little Lamb back in the 1878, he basically, all you could hear is like, Mary had a little lamb. So the audio is all messed up. Number 3. So you may have seen this one on a video by Vox, and there's the video right there. But we have the gated reverb effect. So in 1978, Steve Lillywhite experimented with the gated reverb during his work on Susie and the Banshees album, The Scream, and the band Psychedelic Furs. So basically they would play the drums with no cymbals, and he would run it through, he called it like the atmospheric thing at the time. So 1979, Lillywhite, Phil Collins, and Peter Gabriel stumbled upon this sound in the studio while working on Gabriel's third solo album. Collins was playing the drums, and the signal was picked up by the overhead talkback microphone. So as he was playing the drums, it was going, they used that talkback microphone to talk back and forth between the studio console room and then the performance room where they have all the instruments set up. Collins was playing the drums, and the signal was picked up by the overhead talkback microphone. This microphone was using high compression, reverb, and a noise gate, so to give it that classic sound that we know and love. So the very next year, so that was in 79. Then they worked on more stuff in the 80s, and then the very next year, Phil Collins and engineer Hugh Padgham used this method on the track In the Air Tonight, popularizing the sound. So we have some other uses of the gated reverb sound. We have Duran Duran, the Wild Boys, and View to a Kill, Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA, Prince and the Revolution, When Doves Cry. From the album Purple Rain, we also have Kate Bush, Hounds of Love. So if you want to know what this sound that I'm speaking of actually sounds like, then all of these songs, all of these artists, this whole time period, it's all about that gated reverbs, that doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, that big reverb snare. Yeah. Number 4, we got the Mini Moog filter. Around 1920, Russian physicist Lev Sergeyevich Terman, also known as Leon Theremin, created the theremin. Let me check this audio real quick. Yeah, we're good. So we have our boy Leon Theremin creating the theremin. In 1953 and 54, Bob Moog created an updated version of the theremin called the R.A. Moog Model 201. And this is what... So there was a Moog, a.k.a. Moog, theremin. So that's what he made first. So he made the Moog theremin and then modular. Moog would later use his company, R.A. Moog Company, to produce other modular synthesizers. Most were owned by universities or record labels and used to create soundtracks or jingles. By 1970, only 28 were owned by musicians. As for the filter, Moog engineer Jim Scott had accidentally overdriven the filter by up to 15 decibels, resulting in a more tough and powerful sound that generated harmonics and cut through the speakers. Realizing the mistake when the first production run had already begun, they decided to leave the design intact, and the Mini Moog filter sound was born. Moog Company would release the Mini Moog in 1970 and produce over 12,000 units for 13 years. That's just the company, though. In 1971, Moog, the person, Bob Moog, could not meet demand and sold the company to Bill Waitina, a venture capitalist. So essentially, he couldn't keep up with the demand, and he had bad credit, and he couldn't get a loan. And so, yeah, I guess times were tough, and he sold the Moog company. Production of the Mini Moog stopped in 1981, and Moog company ceased all production in 1993. So you can see right here, these are the classic knobs from the Mini Moog. There's also the Mini Moog Model D. Those are all around the same time. But you can see here, if you ever used a Moog or you have a plugin, here's the old frequency knob, and then you have the filter emphasis, aka the res or the resonance filter knob. So yeah, this one you can sweep the frequency. There's the lows and here's the highs, and you just sweep it, and then this will give you the pronunciation of the resonance, or you emphasize the filter. And there we go. These are all pictures of some of the Moog synthesizers. This is some sort of mock-up of the filter. Experiment with technology to innovate. So there we go. So this was Odd Instruments and Musical Accidents. I hope you all enjoyed that. Maybe we'll do more parts in the future, more special presentations just like this. Hope you all enjoyed it, and maybe you learned about an instrument or some sort of process that you never heard of before. So that's kind of what we do here in the laboratory. So yeah, there we go. Next up, we're gonna go here. We're gonna go ahead and change this view real quick, and then make our way to Ableton. Not open up the terminal. Cool. So I hope you all enjoyed that. That was something very, very special, and I had a lot of fun making that for everybody. I just want to say hello to everybody tuning in, and thank you for joining me. This has been a very special journey that we've been on so far. So since I have the Arturia collection, we can play around with some of the ideas we just did that presentation about. So with Arturia, they do have the Mini V3, and this is basically a mock-up of the Mini Moog. So what we can do is try to find, and the cool thing about this one is that it's actually polyphonic, but not every sound. But yeah, we'll just kind of get started and cook up some madness with the Moog. This is what we were just talking about. This is what we were just talking about. Hey. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna make kind of like a rock beat. So we'll let it run. Here we go. Okay. I think I can try a better take. Just gotta fix some of these notes. change the velocity. Yes. Yeah, we can try this instead. We'll get another Moog going. I used to call it Moog. So you can see here's the filter that I was talking about. We'll get some 808 action going. Just gonna drop some drums in. I think I'm just gonna do another 150. I feel like this is just, this flow is just so natural. Check the audio. Yeah. We are good. Okay. Filter action. Let's do the classic filter. Yeah, okay, here we go. Also turn down the 808 hats a little bit. Try to write this 808 and see, kind of like yeah, it's kind of a chill vibe. Max for Live convolution reverb. We'll run it from the top. A saturator in the spirit of fuzz. Wow, some delay. Cool, we'll try to add some more layers and then organize the beat, maybe like a pad. It's too much of a chord. That's kind of cool. Preset called Carl Cosmos. Oh yeah. With that mono. We'll add a little intro. We'll use our old friend Decimort. Gotta love Decimort. What's up, 19th Street? I'm doing good. How about you? Thanks for tuning in. We got the special presentation, and now we're just finishing up this last beat. We'll go through the Lego welt sounds. Did I mess up the audio? Sorry, I'm just gonna check the audio real quick. Should be good. Like mess up the audio for a second. Okay. Cool. Try to add a part right here. Add some sound effects. Maybe we can try some of these.
What's wrong with
Oh, okay, yeah. What we should do is we'll try Max for Live Instruments, Granulator 2. Shout out to Granulator. This is like another way you can do a sampler. We can use this right here. And we'll get this right here. And so then we'll just flatten that real quick. And then we'll also pitch it. So let's see, clip. Another chill beat. We can put saturator on the master. Just for an example of the fuzz. On this melody, we'll put Melda freeform phase on there. So let's just see what that sounds like. Make sure the audio is still working. Oh, yeah, yeah. We are good. So, let's see. There we go. So that is pretty much it for this beat. That is pretty much an entire beat right there. So again, what a day we have had here. So thank you all for tuning in on this beautiful Friday. This has been In the Lab with Dylan Elliott, your host. So glad to be here. So glad to see everybody in the chat chilling. I know if you're watching this in the future, you're watching this asynchronously, thank you for tuning in. We're going to keep going Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll try to keep coming up with more ideas. So feel free to send me a message if you have any stream ideas. And if you want me to play your music on stream or interview you or somebody that you know, just let me know. I think I'm going to try to get a Zoom interview going here pretty soon. So that seems to be just about everything. Make sure, just big shout out to everybody in Atlanta. Shout out to all the venues, all the artists, all the DJs, the music stores, the record stores, all the bands. Yeah, thank you for watching Odd Instruments and Musical Accidents. I hope you really enjoyed that. I spent a little bit of time on that, but not a whole lot. But yeah, thank you to all the viewers at home. We're going to go ahead and sign off and wrap it up for today. So again, thanks for tuning in, and peace out, everybody. Peace, peace, peace. I'm going to go ahead and just let the stream roll while I close out of OBS. So thanks for tuning in, all you beautiful people around the world.